Hi, welcome to LinkedIn Live. I'm Richard Mullen, leader of product marketing in Cisco Industrial IoT.
And I'm Samuel Pasquier. I'm the leader of product management for the Industrial IoT team at Cisco.
It's great to have you with us today, and we're going to be working through a lot of what we've been talking about and showing over the summer, had a very busy summer, and we have so much going on in the industrial IoT world. So you want to give a quick recap of what we talked about at Cisco Live and what's going on in the industrial world?
Yeah, thank you, Richard. Well, there's a lot of activity happening in Cisco in industrial network. We see a lot of demand from our customer, and the world is changing and evolving. We went from the hype of AI to actually a real use case that our customer are deploying. So we are lucky at Cisco Live to announce a major launch for our portfolio, more than 19 new products. But more than that, we had 20,000 customers showing up. We had more than 300 customers coming to our industrial summit, and we had amazing reference customers coming and sharing their story. So what we try to do today is do the same in 30 minutes and try to tell our audience what we have done.
Yeah, and I mean, we've been doing this for a long time, and talk a little bit about how this has kind of emerged and what we're seeing as far as kind of key themes that we're seeing in the industrial space.
Yeah, thank you, Richard. So Cisco is celebrating 40 years anniversary this year, so it's pretty amazing. 40 years in IT, but what people don't really know is we have been 20 years in industrial network. Yeah. So let's break down where we play and where our industrial networking portfolio is actually being used. So most of our audience will know the IT environment, the campus and branch. That's why we use regular IT equipment, Cisco equipment. Mm-hmm. But most of our customers, they have need for networking a little bit beyond the office space. You will have a parking lot, you will have a warehouse where you need to have networking with extended temperature support, like you need a little bit more ruggedized equipment. That's where our product and our portfolio can play to bring the same technologies, the same IT tools to manage networking beyond the office space. But as you know, in the world, we have people who actually are building things, and they need to use things like industrial automation. They need to bring connectivity and networking a little bit beyond in an even more extreme environment. That's where we find customers having factories, we find utilities, we find roadways, where it's not only about the ruggedization, it's also about the industrial feature protocol that you're going to use. That's where our portfolio can play. And if we push that even beyond that, we have more extreme environment. I'm thinking oil and gas, refinery, gas pipeline, mining equipment, sites where you need even more ruggedized product who are very extreme condition. The beauty of the industrial networking portfolio is that we can provide connectivity across the spectrum of those customers, leveraging the same iOS 60 that what our customers are used to, the same Catalyst Center, the same SD-WAN manager. So there is really a commonality of feature set across the spectrum, and our portfolio can deliver that.
Yeah, and we spend a lot of time talking with our customers and really just seeing what the challenges that they're facing in their operational environments. Can you talk a little bit about what we're hearing back from our customers and really then how that affects the products we develop?
So like I mentioned, 20 years in industrial network. So we thought last year, it would be good to do a survey and check what the state of our customer in that space. So we question, and maybe some of them are in the audience today, 1,000 of our customers to ask them what are their care about. And not a surprise, Richard, but 89% describe cybersecurity as top criteria, I would say most critical for them, because their infrastructure is very critical. They cannot afford to lose control or to lose the hand on their critical infrastructure. So cybersecurity for industrial environment was the number one. The second thing that was new for us, and that was very happy to see, is 48% of our customers think that AI will have an amazing impact for them in their infrastructure. Not only on the IT side, but even in industrial network. So we'll have to peel that a little bit more. And the last one, which is very interesting, is 39% of our customers say that IT and OT still run independently. But if you take it the other way around, that means 60% they run combined and they work together. And you and me, we know we have been witnessing that from our customer for the last 10 years. The evolution of how IT is involved with our OT customer. Right. They are more and more involved, and for us to see that means, hey, we still have to do more to help our customer to have those two teams work and partner together.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see and help customers on that journey, figure out where they are, and how can we really transition those teams to work together.
Yeah.
But I want to go back and talk a little bit about AI and walk through some of the use cases, because it's not just theory. We're seeing first mover use cases in these industrial environments.
That's completely true, and it's I would say even the industrial world might be leading the way in some of those use cases. The first one, when we talk about AI, I'm thinking about machine vision.
Yeah.
People are using camera, and they call it maybe sometimes process camera, in their infrastructure to control their process. So I'm not talking about camera for video surveillance, that is on the IT side. I'm talking about industrial automation where cameras are used to track quality, defect, quality of the weld, quality how we put the screw where it needs to be. So really, that's really growing significantly. One of our customers told us they have a 40x increase in the number of cameras over the last 3 years. So significant. And that is directly AI, machine vision. The second thing that we have seen is the increase in autonomous vehicles. We used to see vehicles that follow a wire that is buried into the concrete. That's not very flexible.
Yeah.
Now those vehicles are smarter. They can decide where to go. Safety first, you need to make sure they don't hit anyone, any personal. But then comes the need of connectivity. They are autonomous, they are intelligent, but they still need to talk to their peer to be able to communicate where they are and what they are doing. So that's an interesting challenge. The next thing that we have seen is really software-defined automation taking over not only manufacturing, but also we see it in utilities with substation. What it means is our customer want to stop to buy boxes when they want new feature. Instead of buying a new boxes to deploy a new functionality, they want to virtualize that and run that in an environment where you can have scalability and elasticity, but still be able to control the physical process that are moving, right? The fourth one is AI robotics. That's to me is the most amazing. I'm sure audience have seen those humanoid robots walking around, right? But what it means is, if you take the example of factory, you have robots that today are very statically programmed to put a screw and put it in a specific location. Now think about machine vision and robots. Machine vision can be smart enough, the robot can be smart enough to automatically put
they're adapting to the environment just in the production process.
Without having to be statically programmed.
Yeah.
So there is a big evolution going on there that require push on the infrastructure as well to be able to have this brain capacity for the robots. And same thing, the number of robots has been exponential. And I think it's fair guess to think that that's going to increase even more. And the last but not the least is our customer, they want to leverage the cloud environment. So when you think about AI, there's a lot to be done around learning. Yeah. So accumulating data to be able to do learning to improve quality, improve the yield that they may have in their infrastructure. And for that, they want to leverage the cloud. So there is a edge to cloud movement happening where you need to guarantee all of that.
And figuring out exactly where do you want to do the decision making? Is it local? Is it up in the cloud? And really allowing the customer to be able to adapt to that.
In a nutshell, Richard, when you see all those use cases, I'm sure the audience realize the industrial network play a critical role to enable those AI use cases, and we've decided to invest into that.
Let's talk a little bit about the products that we've launched and the solutions that we're bringing. And a number of those use cases really demand, and influenced what we baked into the products that we just launched in June.
Yeah, definitely. So the first thing that when we talk about machine vision, take the example, it's all about PoE, increase the number of PoE. It's all about bandwidth. Customer in manufacturing are asking us for 10 gig port now.
Yeah, we never thought that was going to, it was like, what?
When we did a few years back, faster than 2 gig, we didn't thought that it will go to 10 gig, but now it's a reality. People are asking for that. People are asking for PoE in different form factor. So what we have done is we've launched 19 new products at Cisco Live. It's the biggest launch we have done in our industrial portfolio. And the most important, this is complementary to the portfolio that we have today. Yep. So some of the products are here, product in different form factor, DIN-rail, IP67, small IP67. Right. And all of those products are running iOS 16, so same feature set. All those products are managed by Catalyst Center. So there is a continuity of feature set and how to use the product for our customer. So they can really address more use cases with the same tools that they are used to. That's really what we've launched at Cisco Live.
Well, and give that anecdote that you talk about like the explosion in cameras that we've seen and how much traffic that's just driving onto the network that we've seen in kind of major manufacturers, automotive, things like that.
Yeah, so what we've done is really, like I mentioned, 10 gig. So 10 gig uplink on our product, on our switches that is now across the board. We even have, we talk about mining when we open. There's also camera and mining. So we launched the second product you see on the slide. It's a new IP67 switch that can do PoE and actually have 10 gig fiber uplink, which we never have fiber uplink in a IP67 form factor. So we are really adding this capacity. When I talk about PoE, we can also do up to 90 watt PoE, so we can connect more powerful camera, more powerful asset. We can connect PTZ pointed zoom camera. We've seen LiDAR system. So there is a full ecosystem of devices that are now leveraging those PoE capability directly connected to our switches. So, and maybe the last thing, Richard, the last thing I didn't mention is really the need for low latency. When we talk about robotics, there's a notion of safety. The robot needs to stop before you can hurt a human. So the latency matters. So we really work on that to improve latency in our product and really make it available to deploy fabric technology on our entire portfolio.
So take that idea of latency and then combine it with mobility and the idea that we've got with robotics that we're seeing on being able to move around the factory, and then what we've done with ultra backhaul in that.
Yeah, so when we look into industrial environment and factory, let's take the example of factory, but warehouse would be exactly the same. Our customer need Wi-Fi. You have your cell phone, the tablet, you want to connect to a Wi-Fi network. But your AGVs and AMRs that are running around, moving, or your forklift that is moving around, let's say in a warehouse, a lot of metal, the Wi-Fi connectivity can be challenged sometimes because of the complexity of the RF environment. So most of the customers, what they do is deploy a different technology, industrial wireless technology, to connect those assets on the move. What we have announced at Cisco Live is we are combining the power of Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi 7 portfolio with the power of our curb technology, Cisco Ultra Reliable Wireless Backhaul, to combine them together to run on the same AP. So the access point that you see on the table can now do Wi-Fi and our curb technology at the same time. So what it means for our customers, you deploy one infrastructure on the ceiling, one access point, and you can have your Wi-Fi and phone and laptop running Wi-Fi, and you can have your AGV using curb to have the benefit of this resilient and reliable connectivity when they are moving. So now it's all combined into one product, simplifying the deployment of this technology, and you don't have to maintain two wireless infrastructure, one infrastructure that can cover the two use cases.
Yeah, now, and no longer the AGVs fighting with the individual that's running the control network on the iPad, for example. They just have that band completely clear to them.
Exactly.
Yeah, super exciting on that piece. I mean, and both of those, categories of products pull into our overall suite. And we haven't even talked about on the routing side, for example, the explosion that we're seeing in SD-WAN instances and security. Can you just talk a bit about our portfolio and how these products really complement one another and the industry that they're in?
Yeah, I think it's very important, for our audience to know that. So we have been launching new product, but our portfolio has been 20 years in the making, I like to say. Right? In 20 years, we learned a few things. We've made a few mistakes, but we've learned a lot. And what you see is 20 years of being in that space, being in industrial network, investing in it, learning and improving our portfolio. So our portfolio, when you look at it today, we have plenty of choice for industrial switching, industrial routing, industrial wireless, and cybersecurity. So you can pretty much connect assets. We can have visibility with our CyberVision portfolio. You can do segmentation and enforcement with our switching. So it's really a coherent story. And what we've done is we really push to make sure our portfolio is not on an island. So it's really leveraging the same component as what we have on the IT side, the enterprise side. The same iOS XE, the same management tool. So there is continuity. And when we talk about IT and OT, partnering and working together, that's really what we try to leverage, meaning the same tool can be used by both parties and we can extend the connectivity to those industrial environments. So we are extremely proud of this portfolio. We are committed to this portfolio. We are investing significantly. I have to brag a little bit. Even Chuck talked about it, or CEO talked about it for the last few earnings calls. we are doing very well. We think there's a trend, and we will continue to do that.
Well, we think it's unlocking so many different types of use cases, and as you know, it continues to get employed into with our customers, and that's really that journey that we've been on the customers for so long that really drives so much of the innovation that we've got on the product piece.
So maybe it's good us talking about it. But maybe let's
take a look at
customer. Yes, let's go through it. Maybe we do that. What we try to do at Cisco Live is really put things together.
Yep.
We talk about AI, all those use cases. We wanted to make it real. So thanks to you, Richard, we've built this amazing demo, and maybe we can play the video. And in the video, what you can see is we build a guitar refurbishment factory.
Right.
It's not a real factory, but it's kind of trying to show the technology. So the first thing that we do is we can take a picture of this guitar using PoE camera connecting to the initial switching network. The camera will detect the defect, so we can see that. We can do auto-tuning of the guitar, so being able to adjust so the guitar play the right music.
Right notes, make sure we're in frequency.
You still need to have a good player.
Yeah, exactly.
And we show how we integrate security with our networking portfolio with the Splunk dashboard. So Splunk to have a dashboard to see the productivity of the factory, but also Splunk to get the security aspect on how things are running on the plant floor, right?
Yeah, we built that dashboard that was showing kind of the operational KPIs, and then we linked it up with what's going on with the infrastructure and the security piece. I mean, true IT/OT convergence and how a single set of tools can really solve both of those needs for both sides of the house.
That's true. And after what we have done, that is also very interesting, is there was no physical PLC in this demo.
Yeah.
So everything was virtualized. So what we show is how the network can connect all those assets, those drives, sensor, and so on. The PLC running virtualized on a UCS can drive this entire ecosystem, right? So that was very interesting, and a lot of customers had a lot of fun with it. We will have the demo as well at Cisco Live Europe, so if you missed it in US, you can still catch it in Europe, and we have a few videos on the internet where we explain that a little bit better.
Well, let's dive into a couple of the customer use cases, because they, as we've talked about several times just in our chat up today, is that it really drives so much of the innovation. And so in automotive for us is a real key market where we're looking at the pace of automation. You talk a little bit about what we're doing generally.
Yeah, we have an amazing relationship with the GM team, and we've been working with them very closely over the years. They not only build amazing pickup that are very sexy car, but what they wanted to do is being able to secure their infrastructure, secure their plant. And for them, it was all about how to minimize the time of recovery, right? So what they've used, they use our product, they use Cybervision to get visibility on what the assets that they have. And my God, they have thousands of assets on their plant floor of equipment. They use switching to be able to do the segmentation, and they use our Catalyst Center to be able to manage this entire infrastructure. So it's very interesting, but instead of me talking about it, let's listen to George Ramirez.
Yeah, let's take a look.
He was at Cisco Live, and he was nice enough to do a very interesting interview with him. So let's roll out the video. I know our team has been working together on around Cybervision deployment. Can you explain, how did Cybervision help you to do that? You talk about segmentation. What role does it play to help you in implementing your security posture?
Yeah, for us, really, it's just giving my engineers the tools that they need to be able to do their job and do it well, right? And that's where I see stuff going, right? How do I take the technologies, not only the hardware, but now the software applications, and give those tools to the right engineers with the right upskilling so that they're able to be more resilient, right, as we're looking at the environment, right? So Cybervision is one of those tools that now we have visibility into the plant floor. Now we have visibility into the switches. So it's just very simple. It's a very simple equation for me. How do I arm, my network engineers with the right equipment to enable them to be able to do their job?
Yeah, great video, great interview with some good insights.
Yeah, once again, I really want to thank the GM team.
Yeah.
They have been an amazing partner, and we have been able to get a lot of input to develop our product, and a lot of the portfolio that we see today have been fingerprints from the GM team on that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, everybody knows General Motors, but let's take a look at an example with maybe a company that people don't know about that are really using our ultra backhaul technology and wireless.
People care about cars. A lot of people like cars, but we like food.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So let's look at food. We had this company called Planet Farms, and maybe most of the audience may not know about them. They do vertical farming. So what they do is they grow vegetable, that's like salads, in a warehouse that is completely sealed. What it means is because the warehouse is completely sealed, there is no human at all going into this environment, which means there are no contamination. That means they don't need to wash the product. So the first human to actually touch the product is the human that is opening the bag to eat the food. That is pretty fascinating. And now, because they are in this warehouse that is completely sealed, they need to have equipment, robots to drive that. And guess what? Those robots need connectivity. They need to operate. And it's a very hostile environment for technology. Yep. Very hot, humid. The light is UV light. So very environment to grow vegetable, not to have robotics and technology. So what they've done is they developed this infrastructure, this technology, leveraging our curb technology to connect those robots that are moving between those racks.
Yeah, and they've got this stuff stacked up like 5-6 stories tall of the plants, and
it's pretty amazing to see
that.
How they can leverage the technology to do those kind of things. So that's the future of farming, I would say, and that's the leverage of technology. So that's another example.
And just providing that sort of kind of just ruggedized connectivity, they're putting that operation together, and then we see that kind of brought also into a community aspect in Fort Worth, Texas.
Yeah, so the city of Fort Worth was more a case of rugged networking, right? What they are trying to do is they are trying to close the technology divide, I would say, or they are trying to provide connectivity to a low-income community. So what they've done is they're extending networking to those communities, leveraging our curb technology to do point-to-point connectivity, providing our switches and our Meraki access point to provide Wi-Fi there. So what it means is they use the school as the hub and they extend connectivity to those communities, leveraging our ruggedized networking. So it's another one, when we look on how our products are used, this is a use case that give a lot of purpose, right, and a good cause.
We've got, we have so many kind of different use cases and so many different types of scenarios in which we're working with our customers about that. And, we really are inviting people to explore kind of our latest innovations on our AI industrial ready networks. We have a number of reports that people can get. We have a lot of resources online and elements like that. So our industry insights are in these kind of reports. Can you talk a little bit about some of the thinking that goes into that and what sort of insights we're hearing from customers or what they can find in our
What we want is we really want to help our customer to understand how the technology is used and what's the impact, and try to project ourselves on what they need in the next 5 to 10 years so you can plan your infrastructure, the foundation, right? So we've done those reports. There's a new report that's going to come very soon around the use of AI and what does it mean. So what we're trying to do is really get the input from our customer and get the real use case so we can document that. And even for us, we can do validated testing the solution to make sure we have the right infrastructure to enable those use cases. Right?
That's so key for us to really understand, where's the pace of innovation going? And then when we look back at our validated designs, making sure that we're testing and we're developing products that meet those towards the solutions and that we're testing so that when you put it in practice, it works.
Yeah.
And that's what really we provide to the market.
So, in a nutshell, I would say Cisco Live was an amazing launch for us. I invite all the audience to check the new products that we've launched. We have a lot of content available online, and we hope to see them soon in another event.
Yeah, absolutely. Either visiting us at Cisco Live or we're industry events or just are in LinkedIn and keeping contact with us there. So many different ways. We want to hear your stories. It's important for us in the way that we look at and we're developing products, developing solutions for the next for this next wave.
And we are going to have to raise the bar again, Richard.
Always.
The game is on, and in the upcoming years, I think we're going to have way more coming. We cannot say everything, but that's going to be very exciting, and yes, very excited to meet all of you.
Thanks again for joining us on LinkedIn Live. It was great to have you with us, and look forward to seeing you soon. And thank you.
Thank you.